It's America's 250th birthday weekend, and what better way to celebrate than with a celebration of speed, a festival of speed at the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio.
Drivers, start your engines.
We have the green flag, we have racing as Will Power is almost pushed over onto the grass. Lundgaard defends from his teammate, who looks up the inside as they break down into the right-hander. And look at Rinus VeeKay, already up into fourth place. A magnificent start from him.
Yeah, the Dutch driver being very precise and bold, going to the outside. He picks up P4. Christian Rasmussen in sixth there with Will Power. Kyle Kirkwood in that blue and black car, another American driver up to ninth.
Yeah, side by side heading into 9 there, and it was not a great start for Will Power. He got forced onto the grass a little bit there, had to lift. Is now Kevin Simpson side by side with Rossi coming off a 9, and Dixon already making moves.
Sweden's Marcus Ericsson has lost a couple of places right from the off. That's allowed Palou to make up 2 spots. Kirkwood's gone with him. The 2 drivers at the lead of the championship as Dixon goes to make another move, looking fighty from the outset.
Yeah, Dixon treating Mid-Ohio like a short oval right there, a clean racetrack. Now McLaughlin trying to make it 3 wide. We're on board thanks to PNC with Scott Dixon.
And that's wide in front from Grosjean through turn 1 there. It's such a fast corner, but in these early laps, cold tires, full fuel, lots of dirty air, easy to get it wrong. You saw Dixon.
Excellent exit from Rinus VeeKay in the green and white. Hunkos holding a racing car. We'll have a look at David Malukas, but Malukas has enough to keep him at bay as Palou makes the move and gets past Christian Rasmussen.
That's Rossi now trying to get around. Is that Graham Rahal?
It is. Around the outside of the hill.
5, that's tough to do. Graham's going to open his hands up, he does, and now Kevin Simpson's trying to enter the conversation. Mick Schumacher now on his teammate, Louis Foster, not able to make it stick.
Mick Schumacher in that black and red car. This is his best road course qualifying ever in his rookie season. He's starting to find his feet.
He's lost 3 places from the start, though, has Mick Schumacher. His slightly more experienced teammate making the best odds of the first couple laps here.
And just keep an eye on the color of these Firestone tires. You see the black sidewalls at Graham Rahal, the red sidewalls on Rossi behind. Of course, the red is the soft. It's going to give you more grip, especially in these early laps. But later in the stint, they tend to fall off a little bit more. So if you're starting on those softs, you want to make hay while the sun shines. You want to get some of that track position early.
I'm liking the look of Kyle Collette up 1 place, the rookie, to 10th from his 11th place starting position. Also, Nolan Siegel right in the battle with Joseph Newgarden. And now Kirkwood gets past Rasmussen as well. He goes with Alex Palou 1 lap later, so Palou up to 6th. Kirkwood now 7th, Rasmussen drops to 8th.
He was the fastest car in first practice. Kirkwood wants to put this fast car into the front here early. So hard to make positions later on in the stint as the tires wear. Kirkwood again, like James said, on that soft compound. They are better in the beginning and then they wear faster. So you've got to make spots wherever you can with a chance.
So it's Lundgaard from O'Ward, the McLaren duo, no changes in position from the start. David Malukas hangs on to 3rd. Rinus VeeKay is fine. Sorry, David Malukas up to 3rd from his starting place of 4th. Rinus VeeKay up to 4th. Power drops to 5th. Palou and Kirkwood on the move from the start up to 6th and 7th. Rasmussen drops down to 8th. Ericsson drops down to 9th. And Collette is up to 10th.
Yeah, the rear of the car is not ideal. Okay, copy that. Use your tools to protect for it.
You heard that's from Christian Lundgaard. The car's not ideal. Use your tools. You got a couple things inside the cockpit of these Indy cars you can do to adjust the handling of the race car.
And here comes Kirkwood. Oh. Kirkwood on Palou around the outside in the braking zone. He'll have the inside line up the hill, almost wheel to wheel and touching. And Palou somehow hangs on. That is racy from Kyle Kirkwood, and you'd love to see it.
First and 3rd in the championship. This has implications beyond just the race today. Kirkwood desperately wants to get around the 10.
They're both on the soft red tire, and Palou did a really good job of leaving just enough room for Kyle Kirkwood to avoid any forced contact between the 2.
Fast and frantic in the opening laps. We're starting lap 5 here at Mid-Ohio, and Kirkwood is on the hunt.
And you see on the side of the pylon there, showing you which tires, obviously H for hard, S for soft. The top 3 with
Just be careful on the overtake usage.
with the softer compound or sorry, top 3 with the harder compound, able to hold back all the cars that started around them on the soft.
And it's another great exit from Kirkwood. Different line to Palou through turn 2.
But you heard Brian Herta, his strategist, say careful on the overtake usage. You get 200 seconds of push to pass or overtake, that little power boost to give you a little bit of extra oomph to make an overtake. Kirkwood has already burned 31 seconds.
Wow, that is a lot in just 5 laps. Here then a replay. Kirkwood late on the brakes, tries to go around the outside, which turns into the inside, and Palou just gives him enough room and has the racing space and the racing line.
Yeah, you'll watch on board here from Kyle Kirkwood, the Sam's Club car. Right here, Palou starts to turn in. I think Kirkwood thought, oh, is he going to close the door?
Home second after a McLaren pit stop blunder.
And Dixon, in order to make this early dumpster dive work on strategy, he needs that clean air. That's what did it for him last year on a 2-stopper, so Dixon will be desperate to try to get by.
VK has been in and out from the top 6. Louis Foster is in as well. We saw him battling with his teammate Mick Schumacher a few laps ago, so the running order is Lundgaard, no Ward, Malukas 3rd and Powell 4th, Palou 5th. By dint of the fact that Kyle Kirkwood has come in, then Ericsson, Rasmussen, Newgarden, Rosenquist, Rahal, your top 10. As drivers exit out on track, and Dixon will want to clear them. Dixon does clear them, gets through and past Louis Foster, kicks up some dust as he does so.
Stingray Rob coming in there as well. I think Santino Ferrucci is that tail car, but you're right, this was a huge win for Rossi to get out in front of the 9 of Dixon, but this is absolutely worst case scenario for Scott. He wanted that clear racetrack as 2 more drivers going side by side. Kyle Collette on Nolan Siegel, who's just come out of the pits.
And Kyle Collette, the rookie from Brazil. I think we're calling him the Brazilian Bullet now. He is rapid, he is impressing everybody. He's put himself in contention for a top-line drive in 2027. So impressive has he been. So highly regarded is he now in this paddock.
And Nolan Siegel there looking to force his way through. But Kyle Collette doing a great job driving just wide enough to Siegel dare risk it through a very fast left-hander. Not quite.
And they've both stopped. Thank you, Kevin, because Will Power now has lost a place to Alex Palou, who is on a charge on the soft.
These are the 2 lead cars on soft tires right now, and had to give up a position. Let's see how it happened.
And Palou moves around the outside, under braking. That is a sublime move.
Power should pit right now and dump his new softs. He's satisfied the rule requirement. Clearly, this is going to be a black race, I'd say, on the early running. So why not? You're in the window. Why not to come to pit lane, finish on 3 sets of black tires?
And as we ride on board the TWG-AI machine, you can see a little bit of feathering on that left front tire. That's the one that takes the most punishment here at Mid-Ohio because of corners like this one, turn 4.
Look at his lap times falling off.
I'm with you. Yeah, almost a second a lap in the second of lap time in the last 3 laps. You see Ron Rzuski, the strategist, running through the options with his driver. I'd be shocked if they didn't pit now.
Only 3 drivers who started on the soft tire remain on the soft tire. Their names, Alex Palou,
Pit this time.
Will Power, and Scott McLaughlin. It won't be for much longer, though.
So will Palou do the same thing? Will he kind of anticipate that? No, we see him coming by pit in. There goes Power. Rasmussen stays out as well.
I wonder if Power, Power is on pit lane. I wonder where he'll come out relative to his teammate Kyle Kirkwood. Jack, they're coming to you.
He has actually already just hit his marks, Townsend. Soft tyre coming off, like you said. New hards going on. Bleeds some lap time on the end of that stint. This is a damage limitation out lap.
I'll tell you what, though, guys. Clean stop from the 26 crew. Let's listen to some radio quick.
About to overtake this lap. Stay out, keep pushing. We looked at the lap time, keep pushing.
Okay, so they're doing the 1 extra lap for Alex Palou. That's Barry Wanzer talking to him, but I can see why they wanted to stay out, because once he got that clear racetrack, he was faster than race leader Christian Lundgaard on those worn softs.
Meanwhile,
this lap,
remember where Will Power started up there in 3rd. He's fallen behind Kyle Kirkwood, so by staying out on that soft tire, he's paid a big price. Palou getting the call to box now.
And that was evidenced by the statistics that James showed you. Lost almost a second in 2 laps. Now Palou pit.
What he's looking at is the people that Kyle Moyer on his stand, talking to Christian Lundgaard, comparing him to the teams that he thinks is doing a 2-stopper. Lundgaard is doing a 3 with maybe an option, a lot of caution later on. I think Lundgaard will come in by about lap 26 or so. One of those that I think is trying to do a 2-stopper is Joseph Newgarden. Maybe Christian Rasmussen 2 right in front of him. And Hinch and Townsend, here's an advantage. This is a disadvantage. This is amazing what Newgarden is doing with pace. doing something he's never done in his life, braking with his right foot. But does that not help you save fuel a little bit more? It forces you to save fuel.
Well, it kind of forces you into a coast phase as you go from throttle to brake pedal with one foot. But I look to the car of Alex Palou. Like I said earlier, I believe the very best in managing tires. He
Way
well ahead.
Way in front.
Well ahead.
Drivers right
Comes
side,
out alongside Romain Grosjean, slots in between him and Marcus Armstrong behind.
And that was just VK coming into the top of your screen through turn one as he ride on board the Verizon machine, who's now going to be passed by Armstrong. Oh, he would have desperately loved to have kept ahead of him, but there's no way you're going to keep the MSR driver behind on hot tires.
But the reason that he's had to pit and come out in traffic is because the race leaders, Lundgaard, O'Ward, and what was David Malukas, are coming up on traffic. The last driver at the moment is Santino Ferrucci. They are inching ever closer towards them. Christian Lundgaard, you see him exit turn one there. Look to the left of your screen and you will see the blue, white and red car of Santino Ferrucci. There he is. He is catching him and a gaggle of cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them ahead.
But he is in the window now, lap 26. So this is the end of his fuel for this first stint. So I don't know if he's going to catch Ferrucci, but he will want to pit before he gets to that dirty air and slow down. Does Pato O'Ward think about stopping a lap earlier than his teammate and trying to undercut him? We're about to find out as McLaren 39 points within the championship leader with Christian Lundgaard.
If you're new to IndyCar, you may be here from Formula One, where the teams have one set of strategists. Yet it's only 25 as Mick Schumacher defends from Santino Ferrucci, who looks to go around the outside. But the experienced German shuts the door.
Fun little battle here at the back of the field. We ride on board. Thanks for Holmes for our troops, Santino Ferrucci. Stars and stripes on America's birthday. Ferrucci getting all kinds of sideways through Thunder Valley.
Santino Ferrucci, who is the subject of an all-new episode of All In. You can find it on the IndyCar on Fox YouTube channel. Give it a view. Really interesting look at this young man from Woodbury, Connecticut, as Schumacher and Stingray Rob come into the pit lane together on lap 36.
And that little battle there was being led by Dennis Hauger.
But as the fuel gets lower and lower and the car gets lighter, Colette's speed increases and he's pulling in Joseph Newgarden, but the fuel is too light, too low. Locks up his brakes as he comes into pit lane. Rinus VK stopping, you saw picture in picture, and he will get out and get running. And again, is one of the early stoppers. Kyle Kirkwood is in the pits as well.
Great stop from the 27 crew, one of the fastest ones we've seen today so far, as these guys now have to race each other on this outlap. Cold tires, full fuel, racing a guy. That's a lot of fun, but so tough behind the wheel.
Another important stint for Rinus VK as he swerves to warm his hard Firestones there. He's got to keep up that impeccable pace, knowing that the leaders like Christian Lundgaard will have to, quote, suffer through that soft tire stint at Upward here coming up. And it's not that easy on the hard tire as Lundgaard almost loses it.
That is a huge catch from Lundgaard, and he is catching traffic ahead. Is now just half a second. Rossi, moments ago, gave up the 2 positions that you can see in the penalty box at the bottom of your screen for avoidable contact with Dixon. Had to let Ericsson through, had to let Dixon through, and has now fallen into the clutches of Christian Lundgaard. This the moment as we were going to break, which we saw a little move over onto the racing line from Alexander Rossi. Contact with what is now a damaged front wing for Scott Dixon, and the reason for the penalty. And this was giving up.
Wow.
Oh, and now there's more.
Scott Dixon saying, man,
what have I got to do today?
Shades of Graham Rahal and Will Power at the last race.
But look at Pato O'Ward in the top screen.
Yeah, I mean, Lundgaard's really lost a lot here in front.
And he's gone wide.
Way wide, and he'll have marbles all over his tires as O'Ward is ready to pounce.
And here he comes, shaping up his teammate on the long run down. Lundgaard will have the inside line. O'Ward is late on the brakes. Lundgaard goes to defend. They almost touch, and O'Ward tries to make it through, squeezes up on the inside. Lundgaard keeps it stuck in around the outside, but O'Ward has the lead.
No papaya rules in IndyCar. Those two were going hard at it, wheel to wheel, and O'Ward did exactly what he had to do, capitalizing on that mistake from Lundgaard, really forcing him wide in turn 5 there to take the point. Great move from Pato.
Pato O'Ward putting the virtual shoulder on his teammate. That's a signal of who the team leader is. Palou Award saying, hey, you slip up just a little bit, I'm going to grab this lead and try to run away. I expect Lundgaard, if he gets a chance, will try to very much pay back Palou Award later on.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you had the 7 running in clean air for 37 laps, and once he caught up to the back of this field, he's got a completely different handling race car. You see it there, goes in right on the gearbox of Alex Rossi, losing all that front grip. And then actually a little bit of contact there. Pato returning the favor on the exit of 5. Perfectly executed.
On board with Lundgaard. There's that little bit of contact. Your one-time race leader, Christian Lundgaard, has taken the decision to pit before his teammate Pato O'Ward and to put on the soft tyres. He's left pit lane narrowly ahead of Rinus VeeKay, who is in the mix, and now his teammate Pato O'Ward comes to the pits and to Georgia.
This is a switch up from the last pit stop. Remember, Lundgaard came in first, the first go around. Now Pato's second to come in. They're doing a front wing adjustment, and this is going to satisfy what he needs to do for his soft tire allotment. Kevin.
And Christian Lundgaard came in a lap earlier on the softs, and let's watch this blend right here. That'll tell us something, and it should be a short stint for Lundgaard. Only needs to do about 15 laps.
VeeKay is ahead of Malukas and up into the podium positions. Pato O'Ward is out ahead of his teammates. Lundgaard, though, has the heat in his tyres. Could he make the move now? Needs the exit, has the exit.
James, they're on the soft tire. They're going to be magic for a few laps, but as the track temp continues to rise, that advantage is going to fade quickly.
Both drivers on the button. You see all that carbon dust, the brake dust coming out of the right front of Pato O'Ward as he woes up the 5, trying to keep his teammate behind him.
And the harder they race, the harder they abuse the soft tire. Both drivers will be thinking, let's work together here, but I don't think that's what's on call for today.
I don't think that's on the menu. And what Rinus VeeKay sitting behind wants to see is these two going at it. He wants to see Lundgaard take a lunge, get these drivers offline, out of their rhythm, and allow him to close up and maybe capitalize on a mistake.
And Lundgaard would love to have that lunge on Pato O'Ward as Pato muscled him off just a few laps before the last stop.
We sit on board with O'Ward, looking back to his teammate Christian Lundgaard. What a wonderful treat we have when we see two teammates fighting wheel to wheel for the win of an IndyCar race. Joseph Newgarden leads, the only driver who has not done a run on the soft tyre. He must run the softs to fulfill the regulations, but it's O'Ward second, Lundgaard third. VeeKay is in the mix. Kirkwood has also managed to get himself ahead of David Malukas, who's trundled back to 6th place now, then Rasmussen, Palou, who really isn't in the mix today, Will Power, Nolan Siegel.
And check out push to pass between the teammates right there. 101 to 94. O'Ward still in slightly better shape.
40 laps remain. It's game on.
So how many laps do they try to do on these soft tires? We think the full fuel stint at full push, somewhere around that 27, maybe 28 lap mark. But you're not going to want to take these softs much deeper than what we saw Palou do, as we see Newgarden now. He's going to pit from the lead.
He'll come out probably just behind Nolan Siegel or Kyle Collette.
And Kyle Kirkwood, again, it's not just about the podium, it's about the victory for VeeKay, it's about the victory for Kirkwood, and the leaders are coming up to slow traffic. That slow traffic is Dennis Hauger. He's last, 25th place.
And as Pato O'Ward gets closer to Dennis Hauger, he's going to pick up turbulent air. That's going to put even more demand on the soft Firestone, which is already losing its edge. Rinus VeeKay will have a chance now to start to draw in to Christian Lundgaard and potentially make a race-winning move.
Exactly right. I mean, if O'Ward doesn't have the grip to get around Hauger, that's going to allow Lundgaard to get a little bit closer. But then, of course, VeeKay, Kirkwood enters the conversation as well. And Malukas and Rasmussen not that far behind. They're 9 seconds back. You can see that at the moment, running close together. As we take another look, a lap ago, turn 2, your leader, Pato O'Ward. This is where Lundgaard made the mistake that allowed Pato to have the opportunity to make the pass and take the lead, and a little bit wide, not quite as wide as what we saw out of Lundgaard, but it just shows that that left front tire struggling to turn that number 5.
The McLaren's starting to find a little bit of pace in these tyres. The problem with that, as you said, Townsend, they're now coming up to traffic. They're going to need to lap. Kyle Kirkwood, though, is on a charge. Gained 3 seconds, lap 55, 2 in 56.
Played until he was 11 and had to make a choice between karting and soccer. But his dad, Cam, actually played professionally, just a step below the MLS. His brother, Robert, was a college player, really good player, who was going to go pro before an injury. So he's excited to watch Team USA, and he's excited about maybe getting his first road course podium.
And we're excited to see Pato O'Ward make the move on Dennis Hauger. That is huge news for Pato O'Ward and for his potential win of this race. Now Lundgaard needs to go with him. VK needs to get past as well. We are on lap 63, Townsend, when you expect the drivers to come in and stop.
I think Pato O'Ward needs to pit right now. If he can't get by Dennis Hauger, Lundgaard's going to be able to stretch it with the overcut. So I think this is Pato's chance.
I think you want to try to open the gap up. If Lundgaard's stuck back there and I'm O'Ward, I want to do at least one more quick lap, give myself an even bigger gap.
I'm sorry, my
VK almost into the back of him.
That's the move for all these guys.
Absolutely.
This could be the race-winning move for any one of these three, Jack.
Absolute battle down here on pit lane, Will. Final stop of the day for Rocket Renus VK. Absolutely stellar performance by this young man. Full fuel down pit lane.
Brilliant stuff from JHR.
Christian Lundgaard not happy with the rears again. He comes in, goes to primaries, and he beats VK on pit road, and also Kyle Kirkwood.
But Kirkwood gets ahead of VK. So Lundgaard leads Kirkwood, leads VK out of pit road. Pato O'Ward now has to respond. Lundgaard got a great jump on those two in the pits, and VK has to try and stay ahead of Kevin Simpson.
Pato O'Ward has clean air, but he's got used reds. If he feels the car is okay, Pato O'Ward is going to stay out, and his last lap was
huge.
Quick. So Pato O'Ward might be in a really good situation. He can be the judge of when he pits.
Simpson going wheel to wheel with Renus VK, who knows he needs to keep the position if he's going to have any chance of fighting for this win, or even now, because Kirkwood got ahead of him, the podium. O'Ward stays out, and O'Ward drops the lap time again. They were in the 1:08s. Pato from somewhere found a 1:07.6, now a 1:07.4.
And that Pato pass on Dennis Hauger might actually be the move of the race to get past lap traffic and force Lundgaard, VK, and Kirkwood to box early.
Great chance that was the winning move for sure. This is absolutely playing into the hands of Pato O'Ward right now, as we see Kevin Simpson in the top peel off as well. And you can see how much of a gap Kirkwood's pulled on VK and how much Lundgaard has pulled ahead of Kirkwood, as we see the 19 of Hauger come back out now, still a lap down. But this is going to hurt VK as well.
Not good for Renus VK. He's got to go big right here. Full send into the brake zone, get on push to pass, and try to get past Hauger, get him out of the way, and get back in the battle.
Hauger shouldn't put up too much of a fight here, knowing he's already a lap down, doing the right thing. Not making life too difficult here for Renus VK. Both drivers on the button.
Power leads until now. Will Power now on pit lane to make his final stop. We think he'll blend out right in this battle. That'll be fascinating as the TWG driver comes to pit lane. The Andretti team, they get it done on the tire change, fuel removed. That was textbook perfect. Where does he blend out?
And you know what? You got to call it. We were hard on Andretti at the start of the season as to how bad their pit stops were. They have revolutionized their pit work this season. Out comes Power. There is Palou.
So Palou gets by. What about Rasmussen?
He's definitely going to want to have a pop.
Power's checking his mirrors.
Needs to. There he is. Looming large. The stars and stripes on that front wing.
Rasmussen only has 10 seconds to push the pass, and he's using it all right now.
Right underneath his rear wing, will have to go the long way around him. They almost make contact. Oh, Christian Rasmussen, that's divine.
And right now, O'Ward, 41 seconds remaining. Lundgaard, advantage him. He's got 69 seconds remaining. So both these drivers have a decent amount with just 16 laps to go. But you do have to be careful with when and how you use that 60 extra horsepower.
And with 16 to go, the gap that was 4 seconds has been halved to 2.
Got your gap up to 2 seconds on Kirkwood. It's the one in front I'm worried about.
Dennis Hauger had coming in here was about 30 points. Now, Dennis Hauger to Cal Collette would sit at about 16. So he cut that lead in half. Lots of racing left this season, James. So Cal Collette with a great chance for Rookie of the Year as we see this intense battle. Christian Rasmussen holding off David Malukas.
That has been able to happen because Will Power managed to barge his way through while we were in commercial break. So Power up to 6th, Rasmussen down to 7th. Malukas is 8th. The fastest man on track at the moment is Alex Palou, at least it was, until Carl Kirkwood suddenly picked up the pace and is now the fastest man on track. Lundgaard's fallen back a half a second. Oh no, sorry, he's gained a half a second. He's now within 1.3 of Pato O'Ward with 10 laps to go. Hinch, Townsend, I don't think we've seen the end of this just yet.
Not yet at all, and you've got to wonder how close is Pato O'Ward getting to traffic. We ride on board, and I believe that is the 47 of Mick Schumacher. He just did a 107.9. Pato O'Ward just did a 108.0. So that means Mick Schumacher.
Traffic here, Pato. Christian plus 2 seconds behind.
He ain't anymore.
Mick Schumacher is quick enough to cause all kinds of headaches for O'Ward.
I think that radio message might be a bit old. It wasn't 2 seconds. It's 1 1/4 seconds now as Lundgaard continues to pressure his teammate, just as O'Ward pressured Lundgaard in the earlier part of the race.
You saw no podiums for Pato O'Ward so far this season. No better way to write that record than with a win. 9 laps to go. Track's got to be close to 125 degrees right now. That'll make Pato O'Ward's job even tougher as he gets into the turbulent air of Mick Schumacher.
It'll be 8 to go over the line. When they left the pits after their final stops, the gap between Pato O'Ward and Christian Lundgaard, teammates at Arrow McLaren, was 4 seconds. It's now just over 1 second. And don't forget, Christian Lundgaard is staring at an exit from the team at which he was all but confirmed to be re-signing with. At Long Beach, Tony Kanaan, the team principal, said, we have to re-sign this guy. There's no way we can let him go. Fast forward 2 and a bit months, and it looks like Lundgaard is out. Dixon and Rosenquist are in. And the informed man on road circuits coming into this weekend with a 2nd place and 2 wins, he'll either take a win or a 2nd place today unless something crazy happens, is on his way out, and quite incredibly.
No doubt, Will, that Christian Lundgaard's a top free agent, but you also have to look at some of the other names we've been talking about for big opportunities, namely Rinus VeeKay and Cal Collette. They are also having fantastic days today. So for teams that have vacancies for 2027, there's a lot to analyze here. There's a lot to like about drivers looking for a seat next year.
Yeah, a lot of drivers having a good day on a good day to have a good day, if that makes sense, just because of the contract situation. And another driver that's having a great day, Kyle Kirkwood, in podium contention after starting in 10th position. He's not run particularly well here in the IndyCar Series in his career so far. 8th is his best finish at Mid-Ohio in the big cars. But if you go back to his junior Formula Car career, this guy has absolutely been stellar. He has won here quite a bit over the years in the junior categories. And the big thing for him is he has got to beat Alex Palou. I know Palou's managed to get his way up to 5th, but that's still vital points that he would take out of that lead. They're sitting at 56 right now. Here is a graphic of just how successful he's been here at Mid-Ohio. He absolutely loves this racetrack. And we've talked all season long about how much this driver's improved his performance on road courses. Kevin, he is happy hunting here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, he won all but one of his junior Formula starts here in just dominant fashion. And something else has been said a lot for Kyle Kirkwood, a driver with a lot of success. 6 wins. He doesn't have a road course podium yet. It's really just circumstance. Of his 57 career wins in the junior category, almost all of them were on road courses. It was just a matter of time, and that time might be today.
Might be today as it's 6 to go at the line for Kirkwood. Guys, we have not talked about physicality since the pre-race show. No yellows. They've gone 84 laps in the hot Ohio sun on a very humid day. Graham Rahal has the visor open because the sweat is so extreme as you see all the G-force of the corners, driving his neck over, and on the straightaways, guys, he's putting his hand outside the aero screen to try to direct fresh air into the helmet. Everybody going to be struggling to hang on with 5 to go.
And as he heads into turn 2 here, the keyhole, it's a long corner. It's not that fast, but just look at the helmet. His head's drifting all the way to the outside. He's letting it hit the outside of the headrest because every muscle in your upper body is just on fire. Your shoulders, your forearms from gripping the steering wheel, and of course, your neck just takes so much abuse here.
Jack, you know this so well.
I do. This is one of the most physical races. There's a reason the drivers have been saying it, why we've been talking about it. Imagine taking a peloton into a sauna or a steam room and then just trying to do your workout. And then, by the way, you've actually got performance to factor in. You've got a strategist talking to you. You're trying to do your very best, hit all your brake markers, things like that. For these drivers right now, it is an absolute beyond a workout, and especially for Graham Rahal, an added advantage or disadvantage that he has compared to some of the others, when he wears his cool suit, it's a weight penalty. So he's getting the bad end of both of that stick.
And all of that, Jack, as you so rightly say, it's doing the peloton in the sauna, but while you're doing it, you're wearing thermal underwear and a ski suit and a helmet in these kind of temperatures. Right, 5 to go. O'Ward leads Lundgaard by just over a second. The gap has stabilized, but it may start to come down as O'Ward now is catching the back of Mick Schumacher. Alex Palou sits down in 5th place. If he's to finish there, it would end a run of 5 straight podiums at Mid-Ohio, where he's won once over the last 5 years. But guys, the guy who leads, Pato O'Ward, has not won on a road course in 2 years.
Got to be so careful he does not make the mistake his teammate made right here in that dirty air on old tires, pushing wide out onto the marbles, the dirty side of the racetrack. Pato's going to be studying in his mirrors. Am I under any pressure? Is there any reason why I need to press and try to pass Mick Schumacher? So far, James, the answer is no.
The answer is no, and Lundgaard's actually burned a little bit of that push-to-pass advantage, trying to close the gap to be able to take advantage of any mistakes that O'Ward might make while chasing down Schumacher. 41 seconds for O'Ward, 48 seconds for Lundgaard. Kirkwood behind, still the richest on push-to-pass as we come down to get 3 laps to go next time by.
What a magnificent spectacle of racing this has been this afternoon. Absolutely wonderful between these two McLaren drivers. Kirkwood and VK, absolutely exceptional. Rasmussen, I think, has been brilliant. Let's have a word for Nolan Siegel, guys, up there in the top 10, making it all 3 McLarens in the top 10, the only team to have all 3 of their cars up there in those positions.
And they managed that before. They did do it last year, but something this team has never done is a 1-2 finish. They've had 1-2 starts before. They've never had a 1-2 finish. And they are less than 3 laps away from achieving just that.
And from saying, thanks for giving us that achievement, Christian. Go find another job.
Sporting Director Ryan Hunter-Reay looking on once again. He told us earlier about the information they've been giving Pato O'Ward and that they're not receiving anything back, and that's a very good sign. When Pato O'Ward is quiet, that means he's happy, he is locked in and trying to deliver that first win of the season for the 5 team.
And as we're getting closer to the end, the physicality is starting to really settle in. It's been getting hotter and hotter. Ambience up, track temps up to 115 degrees.
And if you had water at the start, you might be out. If your cool suit was working at the start, it might be done.
And if you still have any water left, it's probably about 140 degrees because they normally sit in the side pod next to the radiator.
With 2 laps to go, I want to take a look at what this does to the championship. Coming in here today, Alex Palou had a 60-point lead over David Malukas in 2nd. If things finish as they are right now, the top 4 will be covered by 66. Kyle Kirkwood will be 2nd in the championship. Christian Lundgaard will be 3rd. David Malukas will be 4th. Tony Kanaan watches his lead driver, Pato O'Ward, around whom so much of this team has been set over recent years, willing him to the win, but knowing full well that the decision over the future of the driver in 2nd may well already have been taken.
Tony Kanaan has told us that he's making big moves for next year. The question is, are they the right moves? You have to wonder, as his team is on the verge of a 1-2 finish here if he wonders, am I doing the right thing? Am I swinging a little too hard? Award and Lundgaard are delivering today, and they have for so long.
Buyer's remorse before the package is even delivered. Pato O'Ward leads. It was 2 years ago that he last won on a road course, Hinch, and it was right here at Mid-Ohio.
And I got to tell you, he has driven so phenomenally well this weekend. He pulled it out in qualifying when it mattered to get that front row start. But I know that Christian Lundgaard is going to be kicking himself because he got beat today off the back of a mistake. Had he not gone wide in turn 2, I'm not sure Pato had quite enough pace to pass Lundgaard straight up, but he seized the opportunity when he saw it, and O'Ward deserves all the credit today.
O'Ward deserves the credit, not least for pouncing on that moment, but for taking his opportunity to pass lap traffic when he did, to pull out the gap that he did, to enable him to take that final stop and emerge with a lead that not even his teammate, who has been so crushingly dominant on road circuits this year, could overcome. Pato O'Ward has gone all the way through this season without a single step to the podium. He rectifies that today, not just with a podium, but with a win. And more importantly, it's a McLaren 1-2 for the very first time.
Great job, guys. First one ever. Great job. Great job in the pits, boys. Yeah.
Carl Kirkwood comes home third. Rinus VeeKay just 0.6 of a second off a famous podium. Alex Palou has to settle for fifth. Then Power and Rasmussen, Malukas and Newgarden, Nolan Siegel sees out the top 10. And guys, I cannot believe it. We went 90 laps without a caution.